Hi, today I want to talk about my senior project. My name is Ku, and what I'm doing is that I'm creating a Python program that can translate DNA data, which is comprised of four elements, AGTC, if you remember from high school, into music. Well, it'd be nice to turn them into nice sounding music, but I'm not an expert in music or biology. So the goal right now is just to make them into actual sound, and I think that would be pretty interesting. So let's talk about it a little bit. First is the reason why I chose Python. Python is widely popular, and if you ever code in Python, you will notice a lot of advantages that it has over other languages like Java or C++. The first thing that people tend to notice is that it's very easy to read and coding, partially because it used dynamically typed is dynamically typed. That means you don't have to specify the type data while you're declaring a variable, and it's decided at runtime. This is something that's called duck typing. If it looks like a duck, then it's a duck. It does kind of a weakness though, 'cause it can raise some runtime errors, but I do believe that the advantage outweighs that disadvantage. Because if you just write your code properly, you probably won't have any runtime error. But it's also mandate indentation. You will see that Python programs has a lot of properly indented area, and that's actually a plus because it makes things a lot easier to read and understand. And another advantage is that Python is a high-level language. Um, That means you don't have to worry about system architecture or memory management. And it's it uses both procedural and object-oriented programming, which is, I think that's very valuable. You can write classes and incorporate those classes into just a simple procedural program. And it's really nice that way. And another thing is that it's very portable. So if you write a Python project on Windows, you can run it on a Mac or any other machine really. And it's also extensible and embeddable. So that means within a Python code, you can embed in C++ or Java and vice versa. And that will allows for some scripting capabilities in the code, and that's very cool. And finally, but not any less important, is that Python has a wide and really big and active communities online, and you can really get help with a lot of problem. Most of your problem, you can find someone has done it before, and I think that's something that's very valuable for a programmer. Python is not perfect though. And there's some disadvantage I want to mention. Um, Beside the duck typing problem that I was talking about earlier, it is kind of slow because Python, when it's executed, is executed line by line. So when it's interpreted, it's kind of slow. But I mean, we're not really use Python for mobile or web browser, so speed is not always a priority. And finally, it's not very front-end friendly. So a lot of Python project you look at is not really something crisp looking like C++, a game or like a Java mobile app. And it's not really for the user, it's more for the programmers and researchers. So to wrap things up, I want to talk about bioinformatics, which is basically the development and application of software into analyzing biological data. And Python is widely popular in this field. And it's not uncommon that you see people, building charts and using different software to create visualization of data to try to understand what the data is trying to tell you. But you don't see a lot of trying to understand by sound instead of visual. And that's kind of, I think that would be pretty interesting to see. And that's also the key reason why I want to complete this project. And so, thank you for listening. Bye.